You are watching WCSD from the Calloway County School District.
Welcome to the March edition of the Calloway County Sheriff Report. I'm Josh Connor with WCSD TV at Calloway County High School, and joining me today is Dispatcher Nathan Baird. Welcome.
Welcome.
And normally we would have Sheriff Sam Steger joining us every month, but last month you appeared with Sam on the show, and that was a pretty good show. And so today Sam couldn't be here, and you're filling in for him, and we're glad to have you.
Thank you.
All right. So what are some of the daily tasks of a dispatcher that the average person just might not know or might not realize?
Dispatchers are highly trained individuals. They go to an academy class in Richmond for 6 weeks to get certified as a dispatcher. Daily they take phone calls, everything from a barking dog to a tree in the road to domestic. It can be literally anything. And our job is to dispatch the people that are required to handle whatever given situation is going on and to assist those people.
So although you work for the sheriff's office, you're probably dispatching more than just deputy sheriffs.
Oh yes, we dispatch the sheriff's office, Callaway County Fire Rescue, Hazel Fire Department. We also do after hours call for any water lines that may break, trees down, lines down, West Kentucky Rural Electric. We're constantly calling a whole slew of agencies to respond to whatever is going on.
Okay, well that's something I did not know. If I'm about to call 911, what are some things that I should know to help you guys out on the other end of the phone?
Well, a dispatcher, usually whenever somebody is calling 911, they're usually in a state of panic or something like that. So a dispatcher tries to be their conscience. If you can, remember that we need to know where the problem is going on at. We can't send you help if we don't know where to go. So one of the biggest things, and one of the things I tell everybody, is that to make sure that if you can't tell us anything else, tell us where you're at. Give me an address, give me a landmark, something, so that I can get people there to help you. After that, we try getting the information as far as what's going on out there, what actually is happening, who's doing what to who, or anything like that. Dispatchers also ask multiple questions, and we repeat our questions multiple times to verify that what we hear is what we're actually sending people to. So, for instance, if you say that you're out on Crossland Road, there is also a cross span road, and when you're on a telephone, sometimes those two sound the same. So we will verify that you said cross span. We may even spell it. People get a little agitated sometimes on that, but it's to make sure that we're going to send to the right location, because we don't want to send them to a wrong location and then take longer to actually get to where we need help at.
Of course. And our area has been growing a lot recently. I believe we're one of the top 10 cities in the state of Kentucky as far as population growth. Have you noticed any growth in the call volume of your dispatching office?
The call volume itself has been steadily growing over the years that I've been there. I know back in about 2015, we were averaging about 15,000 calls for service, which is actually sending a deputy to an actual call. It could be a burglar alarm, it could be a domestic, it could be anything. And now we're up to about 17,000 calls per year. And then we do an additional about 25,000 calls for administrative type stuff, which is just answering the day-to-day telephones for assistance for different things.
Okay. And this week's Fugitive of the Month is Lacey Stone. And could you tell us a little bit about her and what the Sheriff's Office is looking for her for?
Lacey Stone is a white female. She's 32 years old. She's 5'4", 140 pounds. She's wanted on 2 counts of flagrant non-support, which is basically not being able to pay your child support. And then also she didn't appear for court on charges she had. And so they're looking for her for that also.
All right. If you have any information regarding Miss Stone, you can call Crime Stoppers at 270-753-9500. And I also understand that there's going to be a vendor event taking place soon to support the Sheriff's Boys and Girls Ranch. Can you tell us a little bit about what that event is going to be and what the Boys and Girls Ranch is?
Yeah, this year we always try to do something for the Sheriff's Boys and Girls Ranch. The Sheriff's Office Boys and Girls Ranch takes at-risk youths and sends them basically to a camp-type setting to build their self-esteem, interact with law enforcement there so they don't have a bad rapport with law enforcement all the time. They go for 1 week. They alternate boys and girls. So for 1 week it'll be boys, second week it'll be girls. There's about 600 kids that go through the program. It's all charity funded, and it's a nonprofit organization, so basically anything that they can do to raise money. That being said, all the sheriff's offices try to raise money and get items for them and different stuff like that. This year we're doing a vendor event trying to raise a little bit more money on April 1st down across from the fire rescue station on East Sycamore Street. We're going to do a vendor event. We'll have vendors out there selling wares. Sense and More Boutique out of Benton is one of our sponsors, and she'll be out there selling some of her stuff. We also have Pit Stop Barbecue going to be out there selling with their food truck, selling some of their food.
Sounds good.
We're going to have a live auction also about 1 o'clock for different items that we gather up for charity thing. And everybody is more than welcome to come out, hang out, shop. If you got anything you want to donate for the auction, they can bring it by the sheriff's office, and I'll be more than happy to put it in the auction, and we'll auction it off and try raising a bunch of money for the Sheriff's Ranch.
Well, that sounds like a good time, and I understand that there's going to be a Jeep raffle taking place.
They do a Jeep raffle every year. This year it was a Gator is what they're actually getting this year. It's $10 for a raffle ticket. They draw, I think, at the Kentucky State Fair is when they draw it. It costs $10. You can go up to the sheriff's office. We sell them all the way up until the actual raffle. You can go to any sheriff's office. If you see the sheriff out, grab him, tell him you want a ticket, and he'll be more than happy to give you one also. He should have them in his back pocket.
All right, Mr. Baird, it was a pleasure to have you on today, and I guess that concludes this month's edition of the Sheriff Report. We were glad to have you, and we'll be back next month.